All right, today we're diving into what is, no joke, one of the most gut-wrenching chapters in all of American literature. We're talking about chapter 18 of Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. This is it. This is the moment the Joad family finally makes it to California. But that dream they've been chasing, well, it's about to slam headfirst into a brick wall of reality. So after that incredibly long, hard journey across the entire country, the Joads have arrived. They're here. But the big question that hangs over this entire chapter, and honestly, the rest of the book, is what in the world have they actually found? Is this the land of milk and honey they were promised, or is it just a brand new kind of hell? Let's get into it. So the chapter kicks off with this really rare moment of peace. Can you believe it? The Joads find a river, and they get a chance to wash off all the dust and the pain of the road. For just a second, you feel this little spark of hope. But yeah, that hope? It doesn't last long. While they're just trying to enjoy the water, two local guys show up. And right away, the Joads get their first real taste of California hospitality. This is where they learn a new word, Okie. And let's be clear, this is not a friendly nickname. It's a slur. It's a label meant to immediately mark them as outsiders, as invaders, as less than human. It's just a brutal way to show how a single word can be used to turn families into a problem. And then, these guys just drop this bombshell. They lay the truth out plain and simple. All those handbills promising jobs? A lie. The whole thing was a lie. There's no land. There's no welcome. There's just hostility. And just like that, the Joad's new battle is set. How do you survive in a place that's already decided it hates you? Okay, so you've got this pressure from the outside, right? Well, it gets worse. Because all that strain, all that hardship, it starts to eat away at the family from the inside out. Those bonds that held them together for hundreds of miles, they're starting to shred. And the first crack appears, and it's a quiet one, but it's devastating. Noah, the oldest son, just flat out tells Tom he's done. He's staying by the river. Tom tries to argue to convince him, but it's no use. Noah's gone. And just like that, a piece of the family is just lost. And the hits just keep on coming. The Wilsons, who've been their partners on this whole brutal road trip, they have to stop. Siri Wilson is just too sick to go on. And this is heartbreaking, because that small support system the Joads had, it just got even smaller. They're more alone now than ever before. Steinbeck paints this incredible picture here, you know? He describes the family as a piece of fabric that's being ripped apart. Think about it. A son just walked away. Their only friends are gone. And all the while, Grandma is just fading away in the back of the truck. Every single thread holding them together is snapping. So, the family is at its absolute breaking point. And of course, that's when someone else shows up to cause more trouble. But it's in this moment, in the face of this new threat, that one person finds this unbelievable reserve of strength. This is where Ma Joad truly becomes the heart and spine of this family. Imagine this. A cop just strolls into their camp. He finds Ma and a very pregnant, very scared Rose of Sharon trying to get some sleep, and he just tells them, "You're not welcome. Get out by morning." And then he has the nerve to call them Okies, just throwing that slur right in their faces. But Ma, oh, she is not having it. She doesn't back down, she gets angry, and she grabs the first thing she can, a heavy cast iron skillet, and she walks toward that policeman. And the sight of this determined woman holding a skillet like a weapon, it's enough. The cop actually backs away. She becomes this fierce, unstoppable protector right before our eyes. Now, that stand she took was incredible, right? But it has consequences. They can't wait for morning anymore. The threat is real. They have to pack up and get out right now. And this pushes them straight into their next nightmare, crossing the desert in the middle of the night. So now they're flung into this desperate race against time, across the desert. And it's here in this awful crossing that Ma Joad is forced to make one of the most difficult, most chilling decisions in the entire story, all to keep her family moving. Okay, so they hit a roadblock, literally, an agricultural inspection station. If their truck gets searched, they could be delayed for who knows how long. It'd be a disaster. But Ma just steps up. She takes total control. She tells the officer that her mother is terribly sick, too sick to be moved or bothered. And her performance is so believable, so powerful, the official just waves them through. But here's the thing, the truth of that moment is just, It's horrific. Ma wasn't just bending the truth, she was telling an unbelievable lie. Because Grandma wasn't sick, Grandma was already dead. The whole time, Ma was hiding her mother's body from her own family, lying right next to her corpse, just so they could get across that line. So after that absolute nightmare of a deception, they finally make it. They clear the desert, they roll into the Central Valley of California, and it's beautiful. Golden hills, green trees. They've arrived. They did it. But this so-called victory is just poisoned by the awful secret Ma is holding. Once they finally stop the truck, once they're safe, she breaks. She finally confesses to the family that Grandma didn't make it. She died hours ago, back in the darkness of the desert. Ma explains she had no choice. She had to keep going, she had to lie, because stopping would have meant the end for all of them. And Tom's reaction is just total awe. He finally understands the impossible weight his mother was carrying all night long, lying next to her own dead mother to save everyone else. You can just feel his entire definition of what strength means completely change in that moment. So let's just take a breath and add it all up. This is the toll of just one chapter. To get into California, the Joad family has been shattered. They lost a son, they had to abandon their only friends, and they lost their grandmother. That's the price of admission to the California dream. And so we're left with this really heavy, haunting question. Yes, the Joads survived, they made it, but look at the cost. They show up in this supposed paradise as a broken, fractured version of the family that left Oklahoma. It forces you to ask, what does survival even mean? When the price of getting there is a piece of your family, a piece of your soul, what have you actually won?